This is Goodwhispers, and the name of the story I'm going to tell you is The Harlot and the Nun. In the 1980s, the Guatemalan military assumed almost absolute government power for 5 years. By the end of the war, it's estimated that over 200,000 people had been killed. It peaked in 1982. Of the victims, most of them, 83%, were Maya. Both sides used terror as a deliberate policy, the right and the leftist. Sister Mary rose. She was out of breath, yet still running. In the forest of Guatemala, the searchlights were no longer visible, and the lights from the jeep were gone. Maybe I'm safe, she thought. She leaned against a tree in the darkness. What creepy crawlies and snakes and other dangerous wild night creatures were about in the darkness, she didn't concern herself with. She'd been shot and was bleeding badly. Her thoughts were scattered, and her focus was very little. She tried to pray. In the distance, she could see the glow of fires. One or the other of the armies were probably burning down a village, and she regretted she was in no condition to help those people. God have mercy on us, her parched lips whispered. She felt for her crucifix and clutched it tightly. She could hear distant screams of people running in the jungle, probably escaping as she was. She stayed still and quiet. She had torn a piece of her clothing and wrapped it around her leg tightly, above her bleeding wound. Then she heard breathing next to her. Friend or foe, she thought, as she held her breath in an attempt to hear better. The person brushed right up against her, then muffled a scream of terror at realizing another human was there. Sister Mary saw the faint features of a young woman. Sister Mary said, "I am Sister Mary." "A nun?" "Yes, I've been shot and tortured by the army men." "Oh, they burned down our village and we are running away. We are not safe here in this jungle. My name is Tepina. Can you walk? I know a place where we can hide." "How far away is it?" said Sister. "Just a few miles. I can help you. You will be safe there, and no one dares to go there." Sister said, "What is this place? And how do you know the soldiers will not go there?" Tepina said, "My client is a very important man. He lives there, but he is away now, and no one dares to go there. He is a top man with the army, and a dangerous man. But he pays me well, and he gives many presents and gifts to me." Sister Mary said, "Your client?" Tepina said, "Yes, sister, I am not a good person like you. I am a prostitute." Sister Mary said, "I am sure that you are just as good a person as me or anyone else. You may not know it. Yes, I will try to make it there with you. Are you sure he is away?" Tepina replied, "Yes, sister, I am very sure, and we will be safe there." Around 1 a.m., the women arrived at the darkened home. Tepina crawled through a window that she knew to be unlocked and lit a candle. She opened a door for Sister Mary, and the two of them went in and found a safe place. Staying clear of all the windows, they made it to the cellar. Tepina, "You have lost a lot of blood, sister. Here, put your feet up. I want the men who did this to you to die, she screamed. Sister Mary took Tupina's hand. Do you mind holding my hand, my dear, just for a little while and talking to me? No, sister, I do not mind at all. You have a good heart, Tupina. I can imagine your life. You have brothers or sisters you need to take care of, and your parents might be dead. And so you take the only work you can to help your family. You also were willing to help me, Tupina. That's a selfless act of goodness. You have a good heart. But no, Tippy, I do not wish evil. I want them dead, said Tupina. My mother and my padre had 12 children. Out of the 12, 3 of us, only 3 remain. Mother and father were murdered also. Some of my siblings died because we have no food. Yes, sister, I want them dead. The evil men who are pigs, I hate them all. And sister, I do not believe there is a God. Why does God allow such evil if he is so good? Look, sister, your God even abandoned you. But I am not abandoning you. No, I don't abandon my sisters. I let those sweaty pig men lay on me, and I take their money. Sister Mary said to Tupina, I understand you, and it makes sense, but I want to tell you a few secrets. Tupina, I want you to listen to me. Yes, sister, I am listening. Tupina was very sweet because she knew the moment was serious, and she tried to encourage the sister. Sister Mary said, every generation has evil happen to it, Tupina. Men and women must always choose between good and evil. Some will lure people with good and cause them to riot and protest. And in the end, they offer nothing more than the greedy people and trouble. The very things that they fought against. The new people in power are just as oppressive. We saw this in Russia and other places in the world. You think you're fighting for something good, for society, for your family, for yourself, that you'll have something at the end of the fight. But it doesn't get better. It never does. This has been done so many times throughout history. Also, there are Catholics and people who say they are God's children who do evil. Look at what has happened to your beloved Guatemala over the years. It's a sad story of oppression. Mankind has a will for power and will do anything to get it. I do wish good men and women were given the reins of control in this world. And that has happened before, but it's so rare. People can't see it at all. And no one teaches this in history anymore. So there is little left for people to do other than to follow some movement of freedom or outrage in the hope that things will improve for them. But it doesn't. It all turns a mess, and the people suffer. Tupina said, Did you become a nun to help people? Sister Mary, no. I thought I did, but I've come to realize I did it for love of God. I think people do not understand the love of God. So many do not want to love God back. I wanted to love God back. And that's a very hard thing to do. Tupina, now beside herself, said, What is this life for anyway, sister? I cry and cry and cry because Only my sisters, they love me. No one else does, not any man. They just use me. And I know this. And I long to be loved. Sometimes I feel so dark. I want to die. The pain is so much. I have to get hard, because I think the men, they will love me, but they take a little love. I live anyway just to someday die. Why was I born? Only to die. Sister Mary, having a very hard time breathing, said, this world is not perfect, but there is a perfect world. A world where no evil exists, no death, and no possibility of evil ever happening again. And we die to get there. And when we live here in this world, how we live determines what we will be forever. The new world is perfect, and there will be no more rebellion against what is good ever again. And all this life offers and takes away from you will be worth everything for that reason. You know, if we did have perfect good here, somebody would rise up with evil somewhere, sometime. But we go through all of this to enter the new world where that will never happen. Perfect hearts with perfect love enter that perfect world. And only an absolute just God could judge those sort of things. Tapina, try to love God and ask him to help you to love him. With that, Sister Mary breathed her last breath. Tapina would have cried over Sister's death, but there was a loud bang as the door upstairs was kicked in and forced open. Tapina crawled out a window, praying as she went, God of Sister Mary, help me escape this, and I will look into loving you. She did escape, and felt so sorry as she ran through the jungle that no one would probably bury Sister Mary. That was in 1989, and rumor has it that Tapina, now Sister Mary Elizabeth, is somewhere in Korea helping the orphans there.